That's great. You've done this before.
Yes, I have. You picked that up, didn't you?
I did.
That's where you go for the meat of the grind, isn't it?
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. That one, pages 2 through 5 are probably the most important position.
Ready to go. Okay, I'll call to order the Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting for the town of Unicoi this Monday, December 18th. We will have an invocation offered by Reverend Lance Hanley of Unicoi Christian Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Reverend Hanley, you have the podium, please.
Absolutely. I've already received a couple of prayer requests. Are there any other prayers that we've been lifting up this evening? Well, hearing none, let's bow our heads. Lord, we are thankful this evening for heat in the building and a roof over our heads. God, we're thankful of the many blessings that you have given to us and mindful of the many ways that you enrich our lives. God, we pray over the meeting tonight that you would be present. God, we pray too for the transitions that are happening. God, we pray a blessing over new employees and their time, and a blessing over those that are retiring as they move on into a new season. God, we thank you for these community leaders and elected leaders as they make decisions. We ask that you would give them wisdom, give them strength, and help us to accomplish what is best for your people and the tasks that are set before us this evening in a manner that is honoring unto you. God, we thank you too for this time of year and the coming of your son Jesus and the opportunity to celebrate that here at Christmas. So I just ask a special blessing on that, and we thank you for the coming of your son Jesus Christ. We pray this all in his name, in the name of your son Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Now, if y'all would stand, please, we'll do the pledge. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, thank you. All right, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Again, if there is a citizen in the audience who is not on the agenda that would like to speak, I will ask that you fill out a request to speak, please, with your name and address on that so that we can keep track with some very accurate minutes. Those are over at the there. Feel free to move around. Roll call, Ms. Kessler.
Alderman Lemon.
Here.
Alderman McIntyre.
Here.
Alderman Radford. Here. Vice Mayor Cooper.
Here.
Mayor Bowman.
Here. All right, board, you have received a copy of last month's minutes in your packet. I hope you've had time to review those, and in that case, we will entertain a motion and a second for approval. Motion to approve. Have a motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. 2 seconds. Any further discussion on the minutes? All right, hearing none. Ms. Kessler, let's vote, please.
Alderman Lemon. Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Radford.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Bowman.
Yes. Okay, this is an opportunity for citizens if they would like to speak on a topic that is not on the agenda. If there is anyone, was there anything mailed in, sent in, emailed? Nothing at all. Okay, we will move on. No.
We have Bill Cost and would like to speak.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you turned in a paper. I'm so sorry. Mr. Cost, come on.
Oh, good evening, Ms. Mayor, members of the BMA, fellow citizens. I had 2 subjects tonight, the first of which, real quick, we hired what I call new help under that title, a fellow by the name of Mike. And I just wanted to say something. Whoever hired that guy did a wonderful job. He seems like, I understand we have a lot of applicants. He seems like a great guy. I had the opportunity to stop and talk with him. We were trying to clean up a mess up on Marbleton. And he was out there in a flash and was working his tail off. I offered to help him. And he said, nope, I got this. And we had a chance to chat for a few minutes. He's a refugee from Northern California, but we can accept him here because he is that kind of refugee. Second item deals with something that I mentioned to Nick, and I know Todd's worked on and Elizabeth before him. We've got trees hanging over the communication lines all the way down Unicoi Drive, and the Carter County side of that is a mess as well. I have been told that there's not a darn thing we can do about it. And my only comment is, there's got to be someone those people are reporting to or respectful of, because normally, as you know, Irwin Electric will come and cut down trees. We actually have trees, and I'm talking about sizable trees that are laying on top of those communication lines. We get a few inches of snow on top of those, we're gonna take communications out for a lot of citizens. We are not, my wife and I aren't part of that, but between the TV, the cable TV and the phone lines, there are gonna be some people that are really hurting. And I think we should try to find out who in the state has some jurisdiction over these people, can put some pressure on. That's the end of my commentary. I got a nice pot of Penang Thai curry that I made for my wife tonight, and I'm going home and eat it. But it's been great to be
You
with you.
just go and enjoy, yeah. Those trees hanging over those cable lines, that has been an issue for, golly, years. And we never can build a fire big enough up under somebody for them to come do anything about that.
Last open, Ms. Raven's own board, we had discussed it, we had actually got Elizabeth, and actually got Todd, and one board to write letters and stuff to CenturyLink, Water, whoever it is now. We have never, to my knowledge, got a response, either from one board or the town side. There has been conversation with the people over it, and he says, look, unless they break, we're not worried about it.
And when you say the people that are over it, you mean the cable company? So
The gentleman that's over the flow line and stuff, apparently back in the day, they would pay to have them cleaned out. They would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars a month or whatever to have this done. And his words to me and the mayor directors, they don't want us to deal with it when they break. It's easier for us just to come in and fix it. They, in my opinion, I don't think they want the liability to cover the trees and stuff, and clean up and all that. Is my opinion.
I know we put an exerted effort out to try to deal with all that, so.
But I agree with
Yeah.
Mr. Dawson.
I guess it's gonna take citizens who subscribe to those services when they get cut out.
And a lot of that's what's falling in Buffalo Creek and causing the flooding. So they should be held responsible for that.
And I guess that's something we'll have to discuss with the attorney and decide how we will go about it, because it's a safety concern, flooding. I mean, it's all major things that we all discuss. And I don't know where we go from here to correct this. I think it's going to come down to the legal side of it. We'll have to pursue even more.
Mayor, do we have our attorney look into it? Do we have it corrected in charge city?
Well, I think that's a possibility, but the first thing that comes to my mind is if we start cutting on those trees and then we do any damage to their lines, we're gonna liable for their lines. So I think we need to stay away as long as we can, because those lines don't belong to us. So, because they don't belong to us, we can't do anything with those lines. So anyway, all right, we'll have to keep working on that. We can't be the only people with that issue.
No.
Okay, so we might need to pull muster forces. Okay, we'll work on that. All right, thank you. All right, any other citizens? No, not on the agenda. Okay, all right, thank you. All right, presentation by Mr. Mickey Ellis, CPA. I think he's brought us good news once again.
I have, actually. I have to admit, I didn't bring you any curry, but I do
Next
have
time.
good, like, mate. I don't know if you've had any of my cooking, you might want to rethink that, but at any rate, Merry Christmas, everybody. Good to be here. I have issued your audit report for June 30, 2023. We've issued an unqualified or a clean opinion, which means there are no problems or issues with the financial statements or the footnotes. And you've heard me say this many times before, as part of the process of verifying numbers and appropriate format, inclusion of required information, we also analyze and review your system of internal accounting controls, how you do what you do, how you spend your money, how you bring in money, how you make decisions, how you mitigate risk, how you communicate, all the things that go into running a municipality. And if we see any trouble spots, if we see anything that we think could cause you trouble, or if we see anything that you goofed up on, we're going to call it out. If it's a compliance issue where you violated some law or regulation, whether knowing or unknowing, it'll show up as a finding in the back of that audit report. And Vice Mayor Cooper's already cherry picked. He's been back there to see. He knows that we had no findings this time around. And then if we have suggestions or opinions about how you might do something differently or better, oftentimes we'll include those in what we call a SAS letter, which you might think of as a management letter. We didn't have anything to include there either, because this lady over here does an outstanding job for what she does. She's very meticulous, she's very articulate, she's very careful, and you guys have a real asset in the city report. So, do you have any questions for me? For what it's worth, the general fund increased about $200,000 last year. So that's fiscal responsibility at its finest.
Thank you for verifying objectively what I feel like I've already our city recorder she stands apart from the rest.
We've been in houses that weren't so clean, and it's unpleasant for everybody.
And she's given the town another gift, and that's sweet and of it.
Yeah.
Which, since I've been involved in the town, she's the only one that's been able to achieve that. So her work is very much appreciated.
Very good.
Very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you.
Are you going to vote on this? Some people do, some folks don't.
We usually do.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we ready? Anybody would like to make a motion or a second? Second. A motion and a second. Is there any further comment or question? Hearing none. Ms. Castle?
Alderman Lemon? Yes. Alderman McIntyre?
Yes.
Alderman Radford? Yes. Vice Mayor Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Wolf?
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
Once again, Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
I'll leave you to your work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a safe drive home.
Thank you, I will.
Okay, next on the agenda, second under new business is QS Epton, with a request for funding associated with an animal control vehicle. So come on up, Ms. Bruce. Well, she's on the agenda.
Okay.
So she gets a little more.
Kathy included some information for us in your packet, and I hope you've had an opportunity to look at that. Just briefly, our old ACO vehicle was a 2003 Ford F-150 that had over 220,000 miles on it. It served us reasonably reliable until over the last year, when it was out of service a number of times and started being very expensive. At this point, we know that it has quit, and so we proceeded to look for options. We asked for anybody having assistance or having a loaner vehicle. We did get a response from Terry Haynes and from Bubba. They were able to locate a vehicle for us in Nashville at the military place where vehicles are sold reasonably, but this vehicle had higher mileage than what we wanted, and also it didn't really meet our needs. What we did find was a vehicle with less than 80,000 miles, 2017 F-150 four-wheel drive king cab, so that we can transport animals inside as well as outside. The total cost of this vehicle plus the maintenance agreement was $30,000. We had $10,000 that was given to us for a project, and we had set aside about half of that for a software and hardware update that was needed. But when this vehicle need came along, we put that aside. So we had the $10,000. Donors raised $15,000. Both the county and the city of Irwin contributed $6,700. Now, we still have to have, we had the cow put on. We need radios, a dog box has been ordered. That's probably going to be another $5,000. We are asking that the town of Unicoi contribute. And we're asking $6,700. We're asking everybody the same. And I would like to know if anybody has any questions of me, Pam.
I noticed something after the fact. I didn't have some of this in front of me, which I don't know that I made a copy for everybody else. But some of the information that was included, I'm sorry, hang on, information that was included was, like Carfax document stuff. And I noticed in that Carfax, no, it's not gonna be in here, the truck had two owners. And one of the owners had it for like 6 years, and the truck's 7 years old or 6 years old, and the other one only had it for a few months and traded it back in. And I was wondering, why did they just keep it for just that for a little bit? Is there a major issue with it that nobody's aware of, or what?
No, I asked the same question. It was a car dealer that bought it, and they just flipped it.
I mean,
Okay, so
That concerns me a
Kevin,
little
one
bit.
real,
oh,
It
real quick,
came from Oklahoma, they flipped it in Memphis, and then from Memphis.
okay, that was just a little concern.
Okay.
Are you set on this particular vehicle?
We already own it, it's outside. I used our savings.
You've already got it.
I used our payroll, but I have to put it back.
Okay.
yes, people were very unhappy that we did not have an ACO truck that was functioning because neither I nor Pam approved of employees using their personal vehicle. You know,
I personally was putting an aggressive dog in my car to take it to the vet to get euthanized, which was not the safest option. And if I don't want to do it, why am I going to make my employees do it?
right, it's a liability for us too.
Yeah. Well, one thing I was looking at was, it's like a processing fee of $750.
That's the dealership fee, that's.
Yeah, I mean, that's like $750 to put your name on it. And then we got $4,100 for the service contract. I mean, that's like 65 oil changes. I mean,
No,
The service contract does everything. Anything that messes up on this truck until 150,000 miles, no time period to end, it's 150,000 miles. They will fix for free.
and we are planning on keeping that truck for the next 8 to 10 years, so we should reach 150,000.
And the owners of Chaparral are actually from Unicoi County, so they gave us a very big discount to help us.
yeah, and I mean, that's because it's taxpayers' dollars, you know. And now, are you stuck on that $6,700 figure?
No, we're not.
Okay,
That's a request.
okay, because see, like, we pay $2 million to the county property tax, and we survive on sales tax. You know, so, I mean, I feel like the county can step up and pay more. You know, and maybe Irwin can also.
Obviously, we're not going to refuse whatever the board agrees on. But I think that I am obligated to present the same request to every municipality. So it's my request, it's your decision and your discussion.
But you've already bought the truck. It's a done deal.
Yes, the board, our board, met last Tuesday. The majority voted for it. The truck was purchased Wednesday. Yet,
Yeah.
people
Well,
were
what do you
very
want-
unhappy that an animal control truck was not in service. This was a vehicle that we needed, that we felt.
Oh, no, I'm not saying, you know, you shouldn't have a better vehicle. Or you don't want maybe one that you can get around. I'm not saying that's just, you know, questions that people ask me, you know. And, well, what are you gonna do with the old truck?
Well, we hope to sell it.
Okay. So you figure it's dead?
It is for us.
Okay.
I would say that if there's somebody that has some time and some mechanical knowledge and a lot of patience, because it needs some extra things.
Jimmy Irwin put that on Gov Deals for y'all.
That-
Jimmy Irwin will put that truck on Gov Deals for y'all to sell. He was hoping maybe $800.
Is it repaired yet?
Pardon?
Is it repaired yet?
No.
Where have you had it so long?
It was at Jerry's Auto. And then the oil pump, you check your oil or whatever, it
It
broke
did.
and busted. So it's zip tied together right now, just to get it back to the shelter.
The dipstick was not broken when it went to Jerry's. This facility had an excellent reputation according to our sources.
And I mean, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable talking to us about this.
I don't,
And I don't want, you know, to feel
I just don't
uncomfortable
have all the
asking you
answers.
questions, you know, I mean, that's what we're here
yep,
for. And I mean, it's good to have better vehicle.
absolutely, it's necessary.
A reliable vehicle.
Yes. Yes, towing costs are expensive.
There was over 60 days in a year's period when it was out of service.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just questions, you know, like it's $4,100. You know, it's just, I just wondered if you had checked into a new vehicle. You know what I mean?
I
And
did.
had the warranty that come with it, and if not,
I did,
You
and
know-
it was $15,000 more for just a 2020. So this was the best bang for our buck that we could afford. And for us to ask the taxpayers to help us. People have donated to us as well to help us.
Right, this is not only taxpayers, it's donors,
Yes.
you know, in the county and outside of the county. We wouldn't make it without donors.
The truck wouldn't be outside right now if it wasn't for people donating.
Other questions or comments? We feel like we did the best we could with the amount of money that we felt that we could expend. that we could spend, and looking ahead, you know, for hopefully 8 years, maybe more. And trying to avoid repair bills, you know. We're not experts at this, we just did the best we could with the help we had.
Did we just purchase a new truck?
Pardon?
Did we just purchase a new truck?
Not for us.
The time you put it, was that cost of what?
Was it truck 51,000?
51,000,
And that, it comes with how much more?
100,000 in 10 years.
10 years.
And it was without the emergency equipment within $22,000. Bring that to 2023.
$12 more we gotta bring with 10 years warranty. Which is better than.
Well, obviously, next time, we need
Well, then maybe she can ask the government for more money
for
next
people
time.
to step up. Because this was not something that was unknown to mayors. Or to
Well, I'm not speaking of money, I'm speaking of value for the dollar. You know, dollar. Just my opinion.
Board, we have a request before us for $6,700 to give to the animal shelter board to purchase a vehicle. It's out in the parking lot.
I make a motion to purchase the
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing none discussion, let's hold for the vote, please.
Alderman Lemon.
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre.
We've already got it, don't you? I mean, could we put a different amount on that, Kathy? I mean,
But I have to put
Or
the
are
money
we-
back in our savings for
You can,
payroll,
you
or
can,
I won't have it to pay my.
you can
employees.
approve any amount that you want to approve, but right now, the motion on the floor is $6,700. If that is gonna change, Alderman Lemon will need to withdraw her motion and it be changed. Because right now, the motion on the floor is $6,700, that's what we're voting on. So it is to you either yes or no. And it's up to you.
well, it's not that I don't want you to get 6,700, it's just if the town can afford it. I mean, we cut right down to everything else. Yes.
Continue roll call.
Alderman Radford.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Boland.
Yes. Motion passes.
I thank you very much.
Motion passes.
And the
Okay,
shelter, thanks.
Merry Christmas. All right, thank you. Now we will move on to discussion and consideration to accept donated furniture. There are some documents that are in your packet that are related to the police department. And it is furniture that was, I think, pleasure renting.
Yes, Huntsville Credit Union had got a new desk for their mobile. It is the cherry desk with the things freed up, along with a table. And we stood with the curio cabinets and all doors at the bottom of it. Just have to go pick it up and they donate to us.
So we need as a board to approve the acceptance of these donated items. And you can see they're each listed in your packet. Is there a motion and a second to accept these items? You just said. A motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, discussion, so it is.
Alderman Lemon.
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Radford. Yes. Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Boland.
Yes. All right, other business. We have, as much for information as much as anything, and for paper trail, we will ask for approval, temporary employment for the city recorder when it comes to Tennessee Consolidated Retirement. There's a 60-day, separation period that is supposed to occur. However, an employee who is retiring with TCRS, they can be employed during that 60-day window, if a waiver has been signed. We are going to be needing the services of our city recorder during that 60-day window. So I have signed a waiver for her to be employed at 20 hours a week during that 60-day waiver period. And that is what's in your packet.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, is there a second? Second. Motion and a second, any comments, questions? Hearing none, discuss your vote, please.
Alderman Lamb.
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Radford.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Lawrence.
Yes. Without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, if I am not mistaken, we are down to reports of officers and committees. I'm going to give just a brief update on the Northeast Tennessee Regional Recovery Center. It has been, at least a couple of years process, but the services, the long-term residential facility services that are occurring at the Carter County Work Camp in Roan Mountain, the old Carter County Work Camp Jail facility in Roan Mountain, is officially open. There, as of our last board meeting, there were 10 male residents in the facility. They have a full week schedule of activities. They have very little downtime, and their downtime is very structured, actually. They are to accomplish certain things in their downtime. They participate in preparing food, cleaning, putting away after a meal. They do service work as part of their plan each day. These guys they have gone through a considerable amount of assessment criteria to make them eligible. And when they are eligible, they are making the choice to reside in this long-term recovery center, maybe a year, maybe 18 months, versus being in jail. And they will go through treatment. If they need medical treatment, if they need, and we're not talking about necessarily medication-assisted withdrawal. They're not doing routine like Suboxone and all that sort of stuff. It's not methadone. But if they need medication for some other sort of medical condition, the World Health Consortium is helping provide medical care. They're getting a full range of services. And at our last meeting, we ate lunch up there with them, and we're able to talk to them. And that first set of guys that's up there is very humble and grateful. And the women's long-term facility, they have got, I think, 8 women in it already. The goal for the men's long-term facility, I think, is 25, maybe 50 by December. By the end of December, maybe not 50, 25 by the end of December, because they're kind of pacing them, you know. But once they're in, it's long-term, once they do something that mess up. They had a family Thanksgiving event. There are things on the news, whatever. It's actually physically up and running. And that's a huge accomplishment that would not happen without a lot of prayer, a lot of thought, a lot of people. So Governor Lee came up and did ribbon cutting for the men's facility and the women's facility. But when he did a little speech at the men's facility, he just kind of said as part of his comments, this was once a prison, and now this is a place that sets people free. And I don't think he realized how profound that was until after he had said it. Because these folks will be set free from their addiction. And it was a prison. So it was, I don't think you realize so late his comments. It's a good thing. I'm happy to be involved in that. The town of Unicoi donated their opioid settlement in their pharmaceutical money for that purpose. And it's coming to fruition. So on behalf of our region, thank you. It's a good thing. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see, I'm done. Awesome.
Back Bob, I don't know why he's there.
Well, and the other thing I'll say is, Alderman, that facility is open for visitors. It can be a coordinated visit, but aldermen from all the towns and everybody that's been involved are welcome to, you know, come and we'll visit up here. Okay, that's good thing. Oh, we're getting more goodies. Wow.
You got one of those pins yet?
Oh, yeah.
No,
I like this film. I like it.
Yeah. No problem.
Oh, here we go.
There you go, sir. Oh, there you go. Okay.
All right, so that's some updates. Sorry I couldn't be here last time, I was traveling.
I was gonna say, I can't believe we're not traveling, but yeah.
It's finally stopped. I graduated Lipscomb last
Yay!
Saturday.
That's right, yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. And then so I think everything kind of levels out for a while. So, yeah, it saves some miles on my car. I've added 50,000 miles in a year and a half since moving back here. So,
Not too bad.
yeah, well, out there I spent like 5,000 a year on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, not gonna bury the lead, gonna talk about what we all want to talk about mostly is the industrial recruitment aspect. Industrial expansions are going well. Things are going, as expected. A lot of different steps along the way. It'll take months to help these companies through that, and I'll keep you updated as much as I can. We're also working on developing a better RFI, a more professional copy of what these industries want to see in these recruitment pamphlets. A lot of the things that we think that other people want to hear about us isn't actually what they want to hear. I've been learning from people who are site selectors and are actually familiar that basically certain terms, certain facts with this community are better selling points than others, and really trying to kind of condense that and spread that message. We're also advertising in several different forms, magazines, including this one, Trade and Industry, Southern Business and Development, Site Selection. Overall, we have 12,000 circulations with one, 25,000 circulations with the other. Online advertising at 173,000 impressions. With that, we have at least 1,070 people who are director level or above clicking on websites in Unicoi County about our sites and our value as far as an industrial location goes. So it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take, it's like a generational kind of win when we get to the next big business here. But we're actually taking the steps to make sure that happens. The hotel study, part one is finished. It turns out that we can in Unicoi County support 55-room boutique hotel at about $150 a night. So the question is, will anybody build that hotel so that can make money? If it works out, then we might be finding a new accommodation in town. So then let's see what else we got. Grants. So we won a placemaker grant for business expansion and retention for $50,000. So any business in the county can come and learn from professionals how to run a business better. So pretty high level courses there. We applied for the ARCL area development grant for the bike park expansion. And we also applied for the broadband ready communities, which would be about 70,000 in workforce development, preparing for the jobs of the future. AI is coming, whether we like it or not, rapidly. The next 7 years look very, very different in what jobs are available, and we got to prepare our people for what that looks like, regardless if we want it or not. It's just the way of the world sometimes. We're working on our qualifications. We completed our 3-star qualification, completed the process to be a TDA and economic development partner. Outdoor recreation, brought some tourism data, some facts I wanted to share with everybody about the money that we can make doesn't cost us anything. When anybody else coming from outside spends here, benefits our bottom line quite a bit. Mainly, tourism has reached an all-time high in Unicoi County. This is tourism of just anybody from outside of the county coming to spend money with it. This isn't necessarily like we're becoming Gatlinburg. This is just people basically spending the way that we spend in Johnson City. Is the connection I'm trying to make. Is that we just want more things here to be able to spend money on, period. And again, we're at the highest we've ever been for that. An 8% increase over last year. We're at the top of the regions, even though we're lagging behind Johnson County, interestingly enough. They about doubled our percentage increase. So basically, of all the things spent in the county and the businesses within it, the taxes that go to our local coffers If that went away, nobody spent money in the county to keep budgets equal to what they are today, we would have to raise taxes by $240 per household to keep everything in our budgets equal. So outside visitors remove $240 a year tax burden from Unicoi County citizens. If we can extend that, having more people come here to shop and eat, then we will continue to offer more services to more people at no cost to us. You know, similar to the way that we spend and pour money out everywhere else besides here. So these are the things that we're working on and trying to increase our appeal. Specifically, the occupancy tax is a direct correlation directly into the pockets of local governments. The county brought in $91,000 in occupancy tax from Airbnbs and hotels. That's purely people who come here to use our roads, use our services, occupy our parks. They paid that directly, and those were administered by Airbnb and the hotels themselves. Make sure to write that check. It is no consequence to the county to operate this tax, or anybody within the county to pay this tax. And there's $90,000 in their budget to be used for things within the county. Irwin brought in $37,000. These are all record numbers, or near record. I think the county kind of flattened out. Irwin is continuing to increase. That's mainly been a shift of where the Airbnbs have been located. It turns out that most of the ones that have survived are in Irwin. They are now at $37,000, just pure cash from other places. Again, it's just such an easy revenue source that I think we should be taking advantage of as much as possible. The rafting tax, $2 a head. You know, we had $10,000 last year of these rafters and just the taxes they paid. That's not including what they spend in gas, food, groceries, otherwise. That all, you know, benefit maintaining our businesses here. So, you know, at some point, obviously, my pitch is have the county with a coin, charge the Airbnb users. I know. That's the opinion. My question is,
Why not? Why?
what I would like to know this one actually.
Why not?
They have taken our
Your
housing.
opinion, why not, or
We
something?
voted it down twice
But
already.
why not?
We only have 2 people that does it, okay?
I don't know, but there's a whole lot more.
Well, let me
We don't
say,
know about, we don't
The
know about.
board has voted twice, we don't need it.
But why not? I said the board has, I know that,
Yes,
but why
we know.
not? Why are you opposed to it? I just think it's a good discussion we need to have. I was trying to pursue it.
At some point, we'll gladly have it, you know, and just like what I would love to have at least is just, and if there's only 2 places total, and I'd love to get the count of that as well, because what irritates me and on a personal, just stepping out of economic development and into citizen, is that I came back and wanted to buy property here, right? Many other young people want to buy property here, property that has been taken by Airbnb owners in a lot of situations, you know, removed from the market, and we can't stop it. It's private property ownership. You can do with it what you want, whatever you want.
I'm
But
sorry,
they
there's a whole
should-
lot more than the 2 that have come to speak to us that are working.
Yeah, they should contribute to the betterment of the community and not just detract from it. There's a whole
And
calculation.
it's not money
to
out of
be
their pocket either.
said. It's money out of the people who are coming to spend and use our parks and our roads and our assets.
So visitors. Okay,
I'm anti-tax,
anyway,
except for people in Unicoi County, I'm anti-tax. People outside of Unicoi County, I love their money. Hands down. You know, so it's just my thought. I see it pretty straightforward, but we don't gotta agree on everything. We'll see. Strategic planning. We completed our strategic planning recently, and I'll give you a more official version of this when we have it ready. They're still finalizing the document, but you know, we've set priorities as a group. We're working to figure out what's going to be the best things for the whole county. The priority targets are residents, business, education, housing, employment, and tourism, which are all key elements of the economy. Pretty straightforward there. And really trying to figure out what objectives can work to better these issues, solve problems and better these issues. So we believe that increasing tourism assets will increase the money that flows in and increase our quality of life and things for us to do, and those who live here. We're going to develop a master plan that's going to work on that, how to actually develop these resources. how to access the river better, how to access trails better, how to make it safer, cleaner, and a more efficient process. And we have big sponsorship. Because there's one thing that we gotta be clear about, and I don't know if I'm making the connection or have made the connection in the past. Industry wants this. In industry like Subaki Nakashima, like NFS, like plastic exports, they have to bring in people to work certain jobs that there's aren't here. They have people like there. We are not producing enough nuclear engineers here to keep NFS afloat from Unicoi County High School. We have to find a way to bring people in, and they are all in on increasing these assets and making this a more appealing place for workers to come. All in. We've got a meeting with them one-on-one, and they want to know how they can help us make this successful, and how they can get the governments behind us and make this successful. And, make these efforts successful, make us a more appealing place to be, because they do struggle with staffing like everybody else, but especially in an area like that where competition is so high. So this isn't just totally separate from industrial development, job development. The second objective we came up with is to recruit and retain retail. This is a very Unicoi specific asset. Unicoi has the land for retail development. Everyone does not. Everyone has a bigger industrial site. That's the focus there. More tax dollars from Unicoi means more budget for you all as well. So we're going to work on increasing the amount of business that operates in this county. Incubator spaces is objective number 3, highlighting specifically the Mountain Harvest Kitchen. How do we make that successful? Economic development agencies across the country want successful incubators. We have an incubator ready to develop, so we can figure out how to do so and grow businesses from within it and hopefully make them successful here. There's other ways we can end up partnering with the Heirs Foundation to come up with this good initiative to make incubator spaces operate as well. Objective 4 is to attract residents, primarily attracting our own residents back. We've lost too many people my age, a little older, a little younger, who are out other places in the world and in the region. We need them back to continue the county as it is and as we are, to have a future for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be selling out to people who'd like to move in from somewhere else. We'll gladly take the property. But how do we make these people want to live here again? And we got to find a way to do that. And also have the places for them to live. Objective 5 is we have to fix our planning, community planning issue. Too much turnover. People don't know the communities, don't know our needs, don't know our objectives, and they turn over so quickly that they can't even learn how we operate. So how are we going to improve that issue with the partner? I know there's a lot of interest in different places, especially the county, why don't we have our own for spending so much money into the development district. So figuring out what a solution there might look like, a long-term solution. And then objective 6, I'm probably going to reorder to be number 1 would be just recruiting industry and jobs, and increasing our ability to be effective in getting selected for site visits. We also have to determine how we're going to be more appealing by having adult education options, workforce development options in high school, and continue those programs that we can do. So once this is ready, you all have a copy. It's very broad, kind of overarching for the whole county. Doesn't get too narrow, but I think it kind of helps us solve all the issues that we have collectively. So
I think it was a really productive strategic planning time, I think.
yeah,
Overarching, I think an idea or concept became clearly evident. It really didn't matter which one of those aspects that we focused on or started talking about. Naturally, the conversation would begin to evolve into some of the other aspects. Do you know what I mean? It's like not any one of those goals stood by itself. Like to accomplish many of them, we need housing. To accomplish many of them, we needed childcare.
yeah, those are the most.
We needed this piece, we needed that piece, we needed a training program, we needed, it's a whole broad impact of things that are gonna have to come together. None of them are in isolation.
Right.
So it's a very daunting task, and to figure out what your assets are already to build on. But it was a really good session, I think.
Yeah, I think it was very productive. Was very bought in, and the energy is way more productive than it was a year and a half ago. we achieved very successfully the goals we set out a year and a half ago. Very, very successful. Those goals were also easier. We have decided now to tackle childcare, housing, helping NFS find employees and whatever else we can do, because we got to understand that the plan has to be bigger because we have big problems to solve. So,
And the school system participating in this, I do think that grew.
mhm.
The players that are at the table, I don't think they've ever all been there.
Yeah, I mean, we have the chamber actively participating, offering support.
It's a
Schools,
big difference
Yeah.
from what has historically gone on. So, good job, thank you.
Thank you for turning the page for sure.
Thank you, thank you.
We don't have to agree on everything, but I think we all have the same mission. We're gonna make things better for everybody, one step at a time. So, anything else, any other questions?
Got it, thank you.
All right,
Thank you, thank you. Y'all got anything? No? Okay. All right, thank you, Austin. All right. Lisa Willis.
We had the Christmas went well, and we made friends with the neighbors.
Oh, good. Okay.
So possibly we may be able to utilize their backyard for parking for the workers and have more parking for.
For visitors, yes. Okay. Cool.
So we're working on that,
Okay.
which we used to have, but now we're struggling.
Okay.
Usually.
Okay.
And, we're, since our events is kind of spiked out, we're gonna be working on the code of it and it that has the different things in the town,
Okay.
so that we'll have like the, maybe like the churches from the book and the town hall up here in the kitchen, different things like that. And then the businesses separately.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can have like, different things. Have like one volume one, the town, things, volume two, different
I see.
different things. That would be something that makes money on.
Absolutely.
And, that's about everything that I've got right now. Because we all slow down.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
Yeah, I ain't gonna have to.
Take a breath. All right. Good deal. I saw the plastics up. Yeah, that worked. Okay, planning commission.
Usually I want to get and put it in the packet.
It's in the packet. You can read it in the packet from planning. Okay.
So that way.
Okay, all right, and let me add, the planning packet has been, the first draft has been issued by Corey for us to go back through and look at, to give feedback. So the planning commission does have that in their email boxes to be looking at, to move forward with the new zoning code. All right, planning code, Mountain Homes Kitchen packet, we've got things that were included, some things are dropped off here. but
I
it's fine.
did not get my report in time to get out to the packet, so I printed it out so you can have them. But in November, the Mountain Homes Kitchen was rented for 111 hours to 7 processing deliveries. So it has gone up, pretty significant from last month. As you remember, last month, the hours went down quite a bit. You can see our year-to-year comparison. Last month, I consulted 6 potential clients with facility tours and via email, whether they had specific questions on the kitchen or they were food business related questions. 2 have taken applications last month, and then 1 food truck going as well. And then in November, we had 2 temporary users. One was Earth Fair. They make bread in their ovens at their store. Their ovens have been down, so they come over and use our ovens until they were receiving new ones. So they were very grateful for that, and they were able to keep their product on their shelves. So that was just a temporary, kind of one-time use, but it did help us out a little bit.
You'll also see a fee schedule and service rates. I've adjusted it just slightly. I never changed any of the rates itself. I just added, one package, and I also, put food trucks kind of by themselves, just because things have kind of changed with how food trucks operate. So for example, the food truck that joined in November was a coffee food truck. So food trucks have to have a service area operation agreement to be compliant with the health department. But not all food trucks have grease on them, so they don't need a grease trap to dispose their grease or their gray water. They can do that at home. So for them to pay an affiliation fee was something that I felt was more acclimated to what their needs are. So if they do need to use the outside facilities like the grease disposal, their facility deposit is still $125. That is refundable if they're, decide to shut down their business or anything like that. And then their outside facility use is still $60 a month. I just added on the service area affiliation fee so they can use this as an affiliation, to be compliant with the health department if they still don't need all those services like the grease trap. Because that is acceptable for them to dispose of it in their kitchen sink if it's, doesn't have grease in it. So like the food trucks that are just ice cream or coffee or other drinks or something that doesn't have any grease, we can still service them and still have them as a client. And this would be like a yearly fee, that would renew the month that they sign up, and it could also be spread out in month-to-month payments if needed, something that we can work a little bit more with food trucks. And then the package that I added was, a 10-hour package. Our lowest package was 20 hours for $400, for the month, and we have a couple of users that would prefer to use, 10 hours. So I, created that package, at $250, so that's a 25-hour rate, so it's discounted a little bit from the hourly rate for non-members. But that gives another option, and I know that there's at least 2 users that would take advantage of that. So that is something that I added. Everything else is the same, did not change any other rates. And then that is it, that's all.
Perfect. And when we talk about those packets, just trying to make something a little more user friendly
Yes.
for different types of business.
Yes, because just about every business, I have to address them case by case. It's not a cookie cutter thing that every business fits into. They're all different, and you have to accommodate them differently based on their needs. And having those packages do help, but sometimes it's a little different, and we have to work with them to accommodate them and fit their needs. Because every food business is different.
Thank you, well done. Okay, Parks and Tourism, PR.
So, on my Parks and Recreation update, I did mention the strategic planning that, Captain Miles do. I won't go over that since Austin has that, more detail, but I do want to say that, it was good conversation among all leaders in the county, that were represented there, and I think it's, we're in the right direction for our community as a whole. I think we're working hard on being a unified body instead of kind of separated from everybody. I think that's unifying, it's helping us pool our resources and work together for the greater good. We also had our Christmas open house, on December 7th here, and we had, different foods from local businesses, like Groves, Salt Bellflower, Bake Shop, and several community members were present, throughout the day. So that was a good, huge success for us, just to be able to mingle and have conversation with leaders in our community. The health department had free flu vaccines here on Friday the 15th. They were open to the public, so anybody could come and get their flu shot. And then Karen Dunlap from Keep the Valley Beautiful, she shared the results from the Trash November. I thought they were interesting, so I just wanted to share those with you. So across the state, 2,201 volunteers from 37 counties participated in 154 clinics across the state with a total of 68,064 pounds of litter collected. And the overall goal for the state of Tennessee was 50,000 pounds. So that was a pretty good, kind of over the mark that they did. In Unicoi County, they had 9 separate cleanups with 237 volunteers of all ages, resulting in over 2,500 pounds of litter being collected for this county. So we had,
That wasn't every road.
yeah, and we have one of the larger cleanups here, and went all around this area right here. So I think that's a huge success for our county to have such an impact into that. So that's all I have. Unless you have any questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having work. All right, thank you.
Forest Police Department, we had 145 calls, there was 10 tickets, 23 code enforcement, 20 incidents, 1 arrest, and wrecks. Last week, we did have a rash of car break-ins. They were getting pretty much all the surrounding areas. We are going to be getting a investigative team per se. We have meetings Wednesday with all the local agencies and stuff. That's what we're trying to curb this. We also yesterday had the shop at the top with the Elks, and those 88 kids in attendance. They spent almost $11,000 in donations for the kids for this time of year.
Thank you. All right, okay. Municipal court report.
And this is for the month of November, I think this is the highest that we've had. Total payments were $4,708.79, and litigation tax was $336.88. Department of Safety fines was $104.50. Municipal training, education fees was $29.45. $900 for CSI fees, and the net disbursement for revenue was $3,337.92. We had a total of 31 tickets, 2 were unexpired registration, 2 run stop sign, and 27 speeding.
So it's this report right there. All right. Done? We have a comment. Okay, all right. Then you get to go into your reporter's report.
Okay, this is on infrastructure projects, update McLaughlin Road. I think we talked about it last BMA. Terry has fixed the stormwater runoff on McLaughlin. Our labor cost to him was $2,817, and he also cleaned out the grate and the tile, cleaned out the ditches. And Tony and Mike ordered a new grate from Duncan Mechanical, and that's been installed, and the cost of the grate was $749. So Springbrook, we talked about that last week. That was going to be the next project, and that's been completed. It's also stormwater drainage, and it was a total of $14,200 that we paid to Unicoi County, our department. David Anders, who's purchased the property right across from this Whistle Stop and Unicoy Drive. We've installed a tile for him, and he paid for the tile and paid for the rock. And then the labor to put it in, we paid for, which was $3,158. We asked Terry to give us an estimate on the Dry Creek paving and how much belongs to the town of Unicoy. We also have a concrete head wall over the bridge that's deteriorated. We have done a work order for that, and I talked to Terry today, and he said we probably have to have Doug Bowman give us a cost estimate, because he doesn't think he can do it. It does need to be replaced. We've done work orders for Buffalo Ridge Road, potholes, and another pothole on Unicoy Drive just past the cabin. You all have received a copy of the letter that we got on the home grant. And just to refresh, that homeowner rehabilitation is $235,000. And the Fiscal Development Administration is $14,100. So the total amount of the grant is $249,100. So the last day for public comment on the home grant, this was in the paper. So we'll end at 4 o'clock on Wednesday. And at that point, they will ask us if we've had anybody come in to town hall to make any kind of comment or anything, and then they will respond to that from us. And that will be the last step for the tier 1. And then we'll have that submitted, and then we'll wait 15 days, and then we'll get the approval from THDA. On the CDBG, you all know that we've gotten awarded that money as well. And just to refresh the amount of cost associated with that, the project cost was $1.1 million. The grant's $630,000. And the rest would be covered by our ARPA funds, which could be around $368,000. The rest would come from fund balance. Just a reminder that in January, on the 23rd through the 25th, will be the meeting that we'll have, which will be a Zoom meeting here, elected officials academy. That will be 3 nights.
With dinner.
What?
With dinner.
Yeah.
Will be 5 to 8, right, for food or something, 5 to 8.
Mhm. And I think Wanda has responded that she's gonna be able to attend. Anyone else? Okay, Kathy. Okay. So we'll need to.
Yeah, it is, I really would like to hear a commitment from everyone, all of the aldermen. So please let Debbie know you intend to be there, or if you intend not to be there. So make a commitment one way or the other, but my expectation would be that all the aldermen are there. Okay.
Okay, we have a CD that's going to mature. It's the $119,465. It's a 13-month, and it was at 4.04% interest. And I think Wednesday it matures, so I have to go to the bank and take care of that. They're offering CD rates at 5.55 for 13 months now. So that's pretty good. The LGIP, I believe, is at 5.40% right now, so.
Okay. Thank you. All right. And I'm going to interject before you do the financial report. I have been remiss that I did not officially introduce Amanda Hospital. Amanda is our new hire in place of Tiffany McIntyre. Amanda has come highly recommended. She is most recently come out of Government Dispatch. I'm so sorry. But I think she's going to be a great addition. And has experience in municipal court and a variety of the things that are part of his job description. So her feet are already wet, and so she's jumping in. And she's spent a few days with Tiffany. And now she's finding her way, making her way. So be sure to greet Amanda if you come into town hall. Miss Amanda, thank you, and welcome to the town of Unison. And forgive me for overlooking an earlier record. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, all right, now, Bonnie.
The general fund, balance sheet, cash on hand is $1,680,000. And, the state investment pool, local government, is where we moved, $200,000 down to, that account from our savings accounts at $201,000. And again, that's drawing interest of 5.40. Our ARPA funds are $473,477. The state investment Snyder endowment, $106,706. And certificate, the new ones at $100,879. The one that's maturing is at $119,464. And hopefully we can get an interest rate at 5.55 on the one maturing. As far as the kitchen, nothing's really changed on the balance sheet, and the drug fund, really no activity either. So if you'll turn on over to your summary financial statement for the city, we are at month to date in revenue, $148,884, and year to date, $1,041,329. Expenditures for the month, $84,722, year to date, $927,940. And so the net income for the general fund for the month is $64,162, and year to date, we're at $113,388. Kitchen for the month, revenues are in $3,582, year to date is $13,792. Expenditures for the month, $8,795, and year to date, $44,170. So for the month, there's a $5,212 loss, and year to date, it's a $30,378 loss. Now, we had this money come in December, so we're looking at November financials, but we did have 2 requests, reimbursements for 2 grant requests, and they total $4,368 for one and $2,836 for the other one, so that's a total of $7,204 we'll have in grant revenue for December. So the graphs are next. Local option sales tax graph for November is $66,138. Year to date, we're at $405,423. And the year before, we were at $78,586 for the month of November. So it's a little bit of a decrease there. And then the state shared revenue for the month of November is $37,405. The year before for November, it was $37,959. And year to date for 23-24 fiscal year is $189,023.
And the leveling out of the state shared taxes, again, gonna be on the agenda for the General Assembly when they come back in January. To continue down, to retrieve some of that that was given to the state way back. Okay, all right. Any comments or questions about the financial report? Motion second to approve? Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion a second. Is there any further comment or question? I'm just gonna say one thing, on our, that $473,000 ARPA, that will be the first money that was attached to the CDBG, correct, to cover the costs of working on Massachusetts.
The majority of it will be, yes, there'll be some money that we'll have to set aside for administrative fees for First Tennessee Development District.
Right, okay, okay. And,
Now, what we need to think about too is the $50,000 that's through Unified County and TDEC.
yeah, getting that,
That, I mean, basically, they were supposed to pay on the 11th
right,
and aren't returning phone calls.
right, yeah, we'll have to work on that one. Okay, yeah. Deal, okay, yeah, we gotta get with Fuller. Okay, I would suggest as a board that the Fuller paving situation that we're having, let's keep all the phone calls coming from town hall, whether they're for me or the city recorder. Let's just keep one phone call going, okay? So that we don't have more than one person talking to them. Does that make sense? Let's just keep it streamlined. Deal? And so they're only answering one person and only hearing from one person. I think when multiple people call, it can get confusing. Are we okay with that? We're gonna turn this situation over to town hall, maybe either discuss something. Okay? Okay, all right, don't bring it there. Let's clean that. All right, we have a motion and a second, and I made the comments, and we got off track a little bit, but I think we need to approve this financial report, so discuss our proper purpose.
Alderman Raymond.
Yeah.
Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Radford. Yes. Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Boland.
Yes. Okay. Approved. Any other announcements? Kristen? You have some?
Town hall will be closed Monday, December the 25th, and Tuesday the 26th for the Christmas Eve holidays. Both those days will be closed. January the 1st, Monday will be closed. The planning commission, BZA, will be Wednesday, January the 3rd. And then the BMA will meet Thursday, January the 18th. And following this meeting, there will be an executive session.
Okay. And Alderman, with any announcements? Anything at all? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Adjourn.
Second? All in favor?
Uh,
Adjourn. All right, and we will move into executive session.
Thank you, Mom.
You didn't want to adjourn, you want to stay, you just love it. You just love it, don't you? You just love